Good morning, cruisers. It is Reddit time again. Let's start off by settling what is apparently the biggest controversy in the cruise business today, and that is, no, do not do this. This is gross. I do not want to see you handing your cruise card covered with boob sweat to my bartender. Ugh, God, what are you people thinking? Anyway, five, maybe six, Reddit questions. Let's go. If not Disney, who to cruise with? All right. We were ready to pull the trigger on our next Disney cruise using our placeholder. Okay, good deal. And then this week happened. I'm sorry, if I could roll my eyes more. We have cruised Disney as empty nesters several times and enjoy the food, the service, the sense of not being nickel and dimed. We are not big drinkers, so paying for a couple of alcoholic beverages out of pocket doesn't upset our budget, and we like having juice, soda, and free tea included. Yes, the sodas are amazing, and Disney has some actually pretty good happy hours, so pay attention to those. We love the theming, of course, and entertainment best at sea. Like being able to visit the movie theater with a bottle of wine. I'll have to try that. And to go with our popcorn, wine and popcorn. Anyway, while we catch a fun movie. Trying to determine if other cruise lines meet our desires without all of the current drama. Again, if I could roll my eyes more. I know we would do well with Viking, but their prices make me hesitate. Are they really that much more than Disney? I mean, I honestly don't think so. It's just, that environment seems way too chill. I should try it. Anyway, let's see. Desires. Price point similar to or less than Disney. Not a drinking to excess atmosphere. Majority smoke-free. Adult-only areas. Great food. Good service. Included or low-cost non-alcoholic beverage package. Excellent entertainment. Live and movies. Okay. Let's see. Veranda, balcony, suites, free 24-hour room service. Now we're getting demanding. No, seriously. Education, entertainment, excursions, not just the beach bashes. Departure from return North America. Ports, 5 to 8 day itinerary. Relaxing environment focused on entertainment and relaxing, not excessive partying. Okay. Well, if you're not going to sail Disney, well, more room for me. All of this, Princess. Yeah, go with Princess, with either the Princess Plus or Princess Premier. It is not a heavy party atmosphere. They do have like enrichment type things, and there are adult areas, and of course they have suites and balconies and all this kind of stuff. So yes, if you're not going to sail Disney, these people probably don't seem like the virgin type. Yeah, Princess. Go with Princess. Next question. Looking for recommendations on finding a first-time cruise as a solo. I put first in parentheses, 15 years ago, our family took a Carnival cruise, but both elementary-age children came down with strep throat, day in, and we wound up spending most of the trip in the cabin with them. Why? You can switch off, right? That's why there's two parents. Anyway, bad cases of painful strep, not what any of us had imagined. Ship doctor was expensive and not great. No health insurance applies in international waters. Sorry, no empathy, always have travel insurance. Fast forward 20 years, hey, I'm keeping it real. I'm now soon to be divorced, but not looking for partying, etc. I'm burned out from work and desperately need a vacation. I don't want to be beholden to anyone else, so I'd like to take a 7 or more night cruise solo. What are your recommendations that would fit someone my age? I don't think you said how old you are. Space for a personal reset, quality entertainment, Broadway type shows, magic, comedy, etc., and a lot of onboard activities. Thank you so much for your imagination. These are easy questions. Norwegian. Find a Norwegian ship with studios and go with that. Just pick any 7-day milk run on any breakaway or Prima class ship, and you'll be fine. If money is really a concern, wait for Epic to come back. She's always cheaper, and she does have the OG studio. So yeah, Norwegian. Alaska Cruise. Hello, looking to book an Alaskan cruise starting in Vancouver, probably in June or July 2026. How did you guys choose who to go with? I've looked at Princess, Holland America, and Royal Caribbean. Why is the Royal Caribbean so much cheaper? It's my first time going on a cruise. Okay, so I know I still have a lot of research to do, but any help would help. Okay, very simple. For Alaska is about the ports. It is not about the cruise ship experience. My advice would be to pick the cheapest cruise that goes to the ports that you want to visit. Be it Sitka, Skagway, Juneau, that's actually Sitka, yeah, that's the big one for me. That was the big one for me. They all go to Victoria. Whether it leaves from Vancouver or Seattle, honestly, it really doesn't matter. Just pick the cheapest cruise that goes to the ports that you want to visit, because it is about Alaska. It is not about the ship. So no reason spending money on the ship when it hopefully is just a floating hotel. Make sure you do, however, pick a cruise that goes to either Glacier Bay or Hubbard Glacier, preferably both. And the rest of them, if it's your first time in Alaska, maybe just pick the cheapest itinerary that goes to the glacier and see how you like it. All the ports, again, it's getting very similar to the Caribbean. All the ports are kind of the same. They offer the same tours, hiking, whale watching, fishing, this kind of stuff. So, maybe it's not that important, but yeah, definitely include a day of cruising by the glacier. That's probably the most important thing. Other than that, yeah, choose it for the ports. I chose Queen Elizabeth. Fantastic time, seriously. Simply because I'd never sailed Cunard, and it was just a deal that was too good to pass up. This was her last Alaska sailing before departing for California and then Japan, and it was a wonderful experience. So that really worked out for me. But choose Alaska for the ports, and you might as well just take the cheapest cruise you can find. Next, Orlando excursion recommendations. Here we go. Basically, the title. Looking for the best Orlando option for 2 kids, 4 and 3. I was thinking about Disney Springs. As much as my kids love space, I'm not sure Kennedy Space Center would be appropriate yet. No. They love to run around, love playgrounds. I'm not even sure Disney Springs is the right option, so I'm looking for friendly recommendations for people who have been. Thank you. All right. Here is the deal with Orlando excursions from Port Canaveral. And I'm presuming this is from Port Canaveral. I would not, and I say this as a Floridian who has lived in Orlando and cruised in and out of Port Canaveral a number of times. It is a deal getting from Port Canaveral to anything in Orlando, any of the theme parks. It is at least an hour on the road, like driving in the bus. And don't be surprised if the actual whole bus experience is 2 hours. That's 2 hours that way and 2 hours back. That is a huge chunk of your day. And unless the ship arrives at like 4 a.m., and well, actually, that wouldn't matter because the parks usually don't open until like 8 or 9, and stays until maybe 11, it's really not worth it. Why do you want to go? Or actually, this is the question. Do you want to go to Disney Springs? Is that really the question? Because if you do, you're going to have to get there and get back. You could rent a car, but that's an extra expense. And there is really nothing around Cocoa Beach. There's no like playgrounds or anything like that. There's no little like parks or anything. So this is tough. Now, if you are with husband, an option might be Fun Spot Orlando, right? Take them, get the kids a wristband. They can ride the rides. There is a splash pad. You know what? Don't let them run around aimlessly, but they can actually run out of the park. There's only one entrance in and out, and it is free to get in. To ride the rides or whatever, you do need a wristband. So keep that in mind as an option. However, I would say this might be a good day to stay on the ship. If they just want to run around and play in the splash pad or whatever, this is the day to do it with everyone else off the ship. So do consider this a port day on the ship. You know what? Instead of the long, very long trek to Orlando. All right. This is a good one. Help. Trying to find the best cruise. Hey, friends. My friend and I, both males around 30, are planning on doing our first cruise. We are hoping to find a wild cruise with some fun nightlife. I was looking at Royal Caribbean, but a lot of their stuff I did not have. But I was looking at Royal Caribbean, but a lot of their stuff did not have dedicated clubs. What cruises have you done that nightlife kicked ass? Okay. Do not do a Carnival Booze cruise. Just trust me on this. Look, I'm going to read this in 2 ways, and I'm going to assume that you are one of 2 types. Still, do not do a Carnival cruise. Just don't. The other cruise lines, most other cruise lines are probably going to be a little bit too sedate, so still, Royal Caribbean is your best option. Either, and one of the ultimate weekend, or one of the world's biggest weekend cruises. So that would mean Utopia of the Seas out of Port Canaveral, or Wonder of the Seas out of Miami. Depending on how long you have, either over the weekend or the 4-day during the week, get the beverage package. this is probably the best party cruise. If you're worried about clubs, there is a club, but they do so many other parties around the ship. Not having clubs, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that at all. The best fun times are all around the ship, and they do a very good job of that. So, yeah, Royal Caribbean. That's it. No question. All right, last question. Here we go. Booked icon for February 2026. A few questions. Okay. Relatively new to cruising, just one cruise so far, and we are trying out Royal Caribbean for the first time on Icon of the Seas. Oh boy, wow, that's a leap. I wonder where they came from. We booked 2 staterooms and linked the reservation, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so dining time, right. We could only get 7:30 p.m., 8:30 p.m. is showing waitlist only. What are the chances of moving to the later seating? Honestly, 50-50. You have to try when you're on board, but don't worry about it so much. You can always do anytime dining or my time dining or whatever they have, or just go to the buffet or do specialty dining. Again, I still don't understand why people like this sort of fixed early and late dining. I wouldn't worry about it, but try on board. Shows. What are the typical show times? I think they're around 7 and 9. If we stay with 7:30 dining, is it realistic to make the 9 p.m. show? Do people usually line up by 8:15, 8:30? How long do the shows run? I'm wondering if my 8-year-old will be able to stay awake after full day and dinner. Okay, so yes, the show and seating times are time to be the opposite. So if you have the early seating, they expect you to go to the late show, and the shows are honestly, I'd say just prepare for at least an hour for the whole thing. The shows might only be 45 to 50 minutes, but the whole thing, maybe with intros and whatever, could be an hour or just a little bit more than an hour. The kids will fall asleep during the shows. I'm just gonna tell you that right now, and maybe you want that to happen, right? So if they fall asleep, let them sleep, unless you don't want them to sleep. But yeah, after a full day, they will fall asleep, guaranteed. All right, so next, drink packages. Okay, the deluxe is currently pricing at $70 per person per night, which seems good for now, to be honest. Is that considered a good value? Should I lock it now and recheck it later? Yes. The advice with Royal Caribbean, because they have the absolute worst system to do this, because it's a gamble and they will steal your money if you don't notice. Book it now, and you can always rebook it if it goes down, or just cancel it 2 days before the cruise and get your money back if you decide you don't want it. So there's nothing wrong with booking it now. Do they ever offer a better pricing around holiday sales? Yes. Check around Black Friday or whatever, because they do sales around that time. So yeah, book it now and then cancel and rebook if the price goes down. Hotel and transportation. Will be flying into Miami. Okay. The night before, any hotel recommendations that work well for cruise passengers? What's the easiest way to get to the terminal the next morning? Rideshare, are they reliable for a group? If we end up staying in Fort Lauderdale instead of... Oh, that's right. I was thinking of Port Canaveral. Okay, Icon sails out of Miami. All right. How many are you? You got 2 cabins, which I'm going to guess you have at least 4 people. Yeah, get an Uber XL or something like that. That's definitely the easiest. Hotel recommendations, just any name brand is fine that, meets your budget. If you're staying, if you're flying into Miami, honestly, an airport hotel is probably just as good. Don't try to take the Metro Rail or anything like that. You theoretically could book an airport transfer for that morning, but that sounds awful complicated. Just get an Uber XL and any name brand airport hotel. You'll be fine. If we end up staying in Fort Lauderdale instead, is getting to the port still straightforward? It's a lot further. So just keep that in mind. 25 miles, give or take. Yeah. So no, just stay by the airport. Specialty dining. We got the specialty dining credit. Package, I guess. But the wording says it doesn't apply to online reservations. Correct. Does this mean we have to wait until on board to book? Yes. Can we use the app at this point, or do we need to get through a special guest services or restaurant directly? Well, I don't know. I haven't had the dining package in a long time, so I kind of thought they did allow you to make reservations ahead of time online. But if not, yeah, you got to wait till you're on board. Sorry. And finally, pre-booking and tips. Oh boy, between now and embarkation day, what are the main things I should make sure to reserve in advance? Any gotchas, tips you should have known before your first RCL cruise? Okay, actually, booking entertainment and this kind of stuff is actually pretty easy on Royal Caribbean, because a lot of it, especially entertainment, you can book ahead of time. And they actually do put it like on your schedule. You can see your schedule in the cruise planner, so you know like when all the shows are and everything. I did that for, I don't know, I guess it was Icon of the Seas. Icon of the Seas or Utopia of the Seas, whatever. And it actually worked out really good. I booked all the entertainment ahead of time because they do have a lot of shows. So there's the main theater show, the ice skating show. Well, you can't actually book the promenade show. Well, there's actually more than one main theater show. So yeah, go through the cruise planner and you can see it visually. It looks just like a calendar. That's definitely what I would do. I would recommend booking all that stuff ahead of time, although as a solo, I never have a problem getting in. But if you have 2 cabins and 4 or 6 or 8 people, yeah, you probably do want to make some reservations. So yeah, there you go. All right, your 5, I guess, Reddit questions for the day, and well, 6 with the key card. Do not do that, please. Ugh, gross. All right, well, I don't know which ship. Well, you know what? If you book the cheapest Alaska cruise because it goes to the ports you want, and I happen to be on that cruise ship, I know this is a weird one to say, maybe I will see you on board. Oh, and I know the thumbnail is not me. I have all these pictures. I might as well use them.